and Director of Think Business Events. So we work with IDP and IEAA on the AIEC, and especially this year, all the technical stuff we're heavily involved in. Now with us also got Lawrence Lee from our team. Ryan is from Cvent, and he'll do some, he'll join us, oh, he's here shortly, and Josephine Williams, who you all know. Now, my computer's been playing up, so let's see if this actually works. So just a couple of things. We're going to be recording this, which you would have just seen pop up. So that will be available tomorrow. We'll send you out a link so that you can access it. Any questions, just pop it in the chat box, and then we'll along the way or at the end. And any queries, just contact us at AIEC Think Business Events, and we can answer questions for you. So just quickly, the agenda for you. So we'll hear from Josephine shortly. We'll give you a bit of a general update, do a demo of the platform, questions that you might have, then give you a bit more information about Braindate, how you can help promote the conference, some key dates, and again, just some general questions if you think of things along the way. Okay, so over.
Thank you, Kim, and thanks everyone for being here. It's really lovely to see everyone on the screen. I know we really wanted to be face to face this October, but unfortunately we can't. So I just want to acknowledge everyone here and the support that you are providing to the conference, especially on behalf of the steering committee. I'm a member of the steering committee myself, but from IDP, and I think IAA, I see Emily is here, and I just wanted to give a very heartfelt thanks to everyone's support this year. I think we, the steering committee, were pleasantly surprised at the level of support from you, from all of the providers and all of the players in our industry. And I know that things are very, very tough for a lot of you, a lot of us, for everyone this year. So your support is even more appreciated, because we know this is hard times for everyone. I do want to let you know that this support means a lot as well for the conference delegates, because thanks to that we are able to put on a show, and that was the main thing that we wanted to do this year, is that even if we had to pivot to a virtual event, that was the most important thing. We want to connect, we want to be together this October. There's a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about. So thank you very, very much. I know we wanted to be in person, but I'm so looking forward to making this such a successful event, and I know that you'll all be part of that success. So thank you very much, and I will be back with you later at the end of the presentation. So back to you, Kim.
Thank you. So just a bit of an update for you. So we've announced all the keynote speakers. We've released the full program. So as of today, we were nearly 650 delegates, which is great. And we've still got 4 weeks to go, I think it is. The keynotes you can see are listed there. And we've also got some really exciting social events happening during the 3 days. And 2 of those are family friendly. So make sure, I mean, if you've got kids and other family members, then you're welcome, they're welcome to join you for those 2 events. So I might go over to Ryan, and he can go through the attendee hub from the front end so that you know what delegates will be seeing, and then also the back end so you know how to set up your booths and get the most out of your participation. So I'll just stop sharing and then hand over to Ryan.
Thank you so much, Kim. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan. I'm from Cvent. So today I'll just be going through all of the exhibitor setups or sponsor setups that you might require for your event. Now, for starters, I'm just going to show you a good example of how a general exhibitor pitch looks like from the attendee's point of view, and some of the things, best practices that you can be doing. And after that, I will go to the back end and I will show you where all of those settings are, and you can navigate and set up your own. All right, so for starters, we have the exhibitor banner that you can upload. So that is going to be at the very top, and that's the first thing that attendees see. Now, if there are any good products or any good catchphrases that you want attendees to be seeing, that's probably where you want to have it. And going down, we have the exhibitor logo. Now, I do know that some of you have really long vertical logos. So you might want to be, talking to your creative team, to some designers, to check on the size and, maybe resizing or changing your logo a bit so that it fits perfectly. All right. Now, next, if you've got any links, say, for example, your website link, your LinkedIn link, your Facebook link or Instagram link, you can always put it onto your exhibit profile, and you ultimately come up with all of these icons. It is dynamic. So if you don't have a Facebook link or LinkedIn link being set up, then they will not appear as the icon. Going down, you will have the capability to upload exhibit videos. So if you've got any catchy videos, any promo videos about your company or your service, then that's probably where you want to have them as well. And try, if you've got multiple videos, you can have multiple videos being uploaded, and you'll be shown as a scroll wheel over here. So we can have up to 25 videos of 5 gigabytes per video each. So that's a lot of videos that you can be uploading. Now, going down, the next thing that attendees will be seeing is your booth description. So as a best practice, that this is probably where you want to be stating down the virtual booth hours, so that attendees would know that, when they are going into your page, they will be expecting the booth to be up, or if there is nobody in the booth, they would know why, because it is not during your support hours. So Team Business has done a really good job over here to list down all of the support hours as per below. All right. Next, going down, if you've got any brochures, virtual satchels, or any links, that is not part of Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, that's probably where you can put it. Or if you've got a YouTube channel that you want them to be following, if you've got your other websites or good information that you want to be sharing with the attendees, that's probably where you can put under links. Or if you have files, PDFs, JPEG documents, you can put it there over as well. Now, moving on to the right-hand side, these are more of the interactive panels for the attendees. So first things first, we have your virtual booth. You might be unfamiliar with some of the virtual booths. So it's something like an actual booth for an actual event where you're given a desk, table, and some space to set up your exhibition. But because we're doing a virtual event, we are giving you a virtual booth, which is in the form of a Zoom room. So in that Zoom room, you will have your staff to start the Zoom session, and I will show you where to get that Zoom link later. And for attendees, during the day of the event, they can just click on that Join Virtual Meeting button, and that is going to bring them to the Zoom session with you. You can have breakout rooms, you can have whiteboard, you can be sharing slides or doing mini presentations or any other programs that you might want to be doing. But do take note that we cannot record any session or any content that's going on within that virtual booth. So that is the only thing that you cannot do. But besides that, every other feature that's available in Zoom is available in that virtual booth as well. Now, another key thing to note is that it is highly recommended that you should be downloading the latest version of Zoom on your desktop or your Mac. It is always preferred to have the app version rather than going through a Google Chrome page or one of those web browser versions. Okay, and the other thing is that I would really encourage your team to be testing those links prior to the event. So about a week before the event, we will generate all of those virtual booth links for you. And right now, it is not available yet, but once you have that link, please do encourage your staff and your admins to be testing out the link, play around with the features, play around with the controls as much as possible. And the other thing to test is that if your company's network do allow you to use Zoom, because I know for a fact that there are some Australian government bodies that they have really strict VPN or network requirement, and they don't allow their staff to be using Zoom or any third-party program. So you definitely want to have that check or have a word with your IT department to enable that for the duration of the event. Okay. Now, at the same time, if you have added booth staffs, you'll be listed all over here, and attendees would know who to be reaching out for, or who to talk to if they want to be asking about a product or a service. Next, we do have the exhibitor chat available as well for the duration of the event. So if attendees are really shy to be jumping into the booth to talk to you or to connect with you, what they can do instead is really just to leave a message in the chat, or just so you ideally want to have a staff that is registered for the event manning the chat box as well to ensure that if there's any questions coming in, they can be answered promptly. Okay. Next, we have the contact us page. Now, the event is going to be up for up to 90 days after the actual event days. So say, it's going to be unrealistic if you're going to have booth staffs manning your virtual booths or the chat even after the event. So this is where the contact us, or what we call inbound lead, really comes useful. If attendees were interested in inquiring about your product or service, they could just leave a message over here. And when they send that message, now on the back end, which I'll show you just in a second, you're going to be able to see exactly the messages that's been sent to you. You could do, a quarterly check or a monthly check, just to make sure that to see if there's any attendees coming in to leave any messages for your team to follow up. So that's probably what you can do after the event. Okay. Now there is also appointments that attendees can choose to make. It will be a one-on-one appointment with your staff. I'm unable to show the exhibitor appointment at the moment, but I can show you what an attendee to attendee appointment looks like. So if they will go back to the homepage and click on schedule an appointment, they would be able to create an appointment, and they can choose to make an appointment with anybody. Okay, it looks like my access does not allow me to book appointments at this point. I'm so sorry, but they would be able to choose which attendee they want to make appointments with. So in the exhibitor chat itself, the exhibitor page itself, they will be allowing you to choose which booth staff they want to connect with, and they would book a 30 minutes or 15 minutes appointment, Zoom appointment with your team. And when they send that meeting request, you're going to be receiving an email in your mailbox that you're registered with, saying that, hey, Ryan would like to connect with you, or I would like to set up an appointment with you for 30 minutes at this time to this time. And you can choose to accept or decline that appointment. So they can be reaching out to you, if you want to have one-to-one appointment as well. Now, the other use case would be if during a virtual booth session, they're really interested about your product, they want to find out more, and they want to schedule a separate time to talk to you. You could encourage them to use that appointment feature as well. Say, could you just drop me an appointment request? You can't do it as an exhibitor, but attendees would have the right to have a session with you and book an appointment with you. So that is all with the front end. Now I'm going to show you the back end. If you are an admin for your as an exhibitor, this is what you should be seeing when you first log in after you've created an account. So there's a lot of things going on here, but a couple of key focus. So the first thing that you want to be looking at is your exhibitor profile. Now, this is what, all the information that is being recorded here is what is being displayed from the hub itself. So if you were to click on edit profile, you're going to see that you have the option to upload your company logo, upload the virtual booth banner, talk about company name, descriptions, etc. Do note that these are not rich text, these are just plain text only. So you can't do bolding, you can't do underlining or hyperlinking. You were just in plain text, but there is paragraphing. You can do paragraphing as you've seen earlier. This is where you edit your description, and this is where I will encourage you to put your virtual booth operating hours so that attendees will know exactly when to look out for you. Okay. Now the virtual booth meeting ID and URL, that is something that is going to get generated from my end, so you will not be able to edit or remove it. So no one from your team will be able to accidentally, delete or remove the URL by accident. So this is really to protect your interests. Okay. So moving down, like you've seen earlier, the URLs and the icons. So if you have put in a LinkedIn URL or Facebook URL, those icons would appear, and you have one default URL as any kind of URL you want. It doesn't have to be your company's URL. It can be a YouTube channel or anything that you want to be putting. Right. Now, the next section will be the contents. So this is where you add all of your contents, which includes your video, your links, and your documents. So just go over to contents, click on add content, and add documents, create link or upload video. Once you've done that, it will ultimately show up on the Attendee Hub itself. So anything that is being shown over there is being managed and configured from the backend, as you're seeing here. Right. If you have accidentally uploaded the wrong video, you could go ahead and click on options to remove or edit. Maybe the name of the video. If it's a misspelling, you could do all of those as well. All right. So moving on next to team. So ideally, you should have one admin, which would only the admin will have the access to this portal. And as an admin, you'll be able to add booth staffs, as what you were seeing earlier. Now, to add a booth staff, the booth staff, first of all, must be registered for this event. So if the booth staff is not registered, they will not be able to view the page or participate in any of the things that I've just mentioned. So if you want to be adding a booth staff or locating your own booth staff, just go ahead and click on Add Booth Staff, click on Search Attendee List, and search by the email address that they have registered in. Okay, just go ahead and check that and import selected. That will allow you to add the booth staff to your team. Right, moving on next to inbound it. So earlier I went ahead to leave a message say, hey, please contact me. So as you can see, after I've sent that request, immediately under leads collection, that is where you will be able to see all of the inbound leads that's being collected. Now, if you don't want to view them one by one, you could go ahead and click on export after the event, and that will generate a CSV file for you, and that will have all the information that is being collected. So when you click onto a lead, you will be able to see their, the email address, or any of the contact details that they have collected and given to you, right? So as you can see, please contact me or please contact me. Sorry for the spelling mistake. And that's what you all be seeing. Let's look at Andrea's one. Yeah, so you can see the email address that you can respond back to, as well as any of the messages that they have been mentioned. Now, you don't really have to worry about lead qualifiers. These fields are meant for on-site events, so we're not really using them for this virtual event. You don't have to worry so much about that. Okay, I've got a question. I've got a question from Alec saying that when would admins get access to set up the virtual booth? If you have added an admin but we received no email notification. Okay, so Alec, could you just let me know what is the name of your company or the exhibitor? I could perhaps look into that for you right now and just do a quick check.
ETS TOEFL.
Give me one quick minute. And you're saying that the admin does not have access to the virtual booth, is that right?
Yeah, we've tried to add admin several times, but they're not getting any notifications. So we can't set up our booth because the team that we're going to set it up, or the individual to set it up in the marketing side, don't have access. And so the system is just not recording it properly, or it's not pinging the message.
Can I get your name one more time? Sorry.
Sorry?
Can I get the name of your company one more time?
ETS TOEFL.
Okay, got it. All right. So if I were to look into Kim, we've got a question from IDP, from Lee. He's saying, when can we check the front end of the page? Could you answer that?
Sorry, I missed that. So we're looking at giving you access on the Friday before. We'll send you out a link so that you can go to the front end and have a look what it looks like from the front end. But if you've got any questions along the way, you can just send us an email, and then Lawrence can come back to you with either to help or some screenshots and some advice if something's not looking right.
Okay, so I am seeing that you have two admins right now, Alec, for your ETS exhibitor account, and you've got both yourself and Heather. Is that the right thing that should be looking at?
That is correct, but she's not getting any notifications.
And she was given the right email address, is that correct? That was the right
Yep.
address, huh? Did you check the junk box, junk mail box, anything? Would that have been over there?
She's checked, but I can ask her again. We can take the conversation offline. We don't need to
yeah, absolutely.
Down the conversation.
All right, sure. Okay. That is pretty much all I have to cover from both the front and back end. I'll be happy to be taking questions if anybody have. And I would highly encourage everyone to, just instead of a private message, type to all, so that, if it's a question for Kim or Josephine, they could answer that directly as well.
Happy for you to come off mute as well.
Yeah, you could ask directly as well if you'd like to.
So I have a question in regards to the virtual host, the keys.
Right.
My understanding is that the virtual host key is for the person that has taken that meeting for the Zoom. Can that be used by multiple people?
Yes. So under exhibitor profile, as I've shown you earlier, this is where you will locate the virtual host key and the virtual meeting URL. This meeting URL is meant for attendees, and when they click on that join virtual booth button on the hub, that is the link that they're actually clicking on. Now, on your team's end, your booth staff would be using the virtual host key. It can be a different person using a key on a different date or a different time slot. But as long as they're using this key, they would be able to open up that Zoom session that is meant for your virtual booth.
But can two people use it simultaneously for the same meeting?
Yes. So what's going to happen is that when the first person uses this host key to join that session, they're going to be made the host of the meeting. And the second person that uses this key, they'll be automatically made the co-host of the meeting. Yeah. Okay. That's a really good question. Have you got any other questions as well?
I have another question.
Sure,
In regards to the booth staff, when they're showing up, is that showing up for the whole of the conference, or is that specific times that the booth will be manned?
All right. So unfortunately, we're unable to set a specific duration for the booths. So the booths are technically available 24/7 if you have got the staff to run them. Okay, but I mean, in a realistic situation, you're not going to have booth staffs manning 24/7. So that is why we're highly encouraging you to set up under descriptions. Sorry, one quick minute. Under descriptions on all the booth staff timing, so that attendees would know when they should be reaching out to you or to your team via virtual booth.
I have a follow-up question on this. So the joint virtual meeting for a person who's coming to a booth, if it's already clicked, can another person at the same time click it?
Yes, they can. You can have multiple attendees joining a virtual booth at the same time. So it's like
But they all will be,
Zoom room. Yeah.
Thanks. So they all will be there in the same Zoom room.
Yep, that is correct. Now you're expecting a large number of attendees joining that virtual booth. Then perhaps what you can do is to set up breakout rooms, have a couple more of your booth staffs, manning the different breakout rooms. And as they come in, you can be assigning them and sending them to different breakout rooms and have a smaller cluster discussion.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, all good.
Ryan, can I just jump in here? So it's Josephine, just a suggestion more than a question, but when you set up your timings on your description, I would actually really suggest that you include the times in Australian daylight savings time, because when you join the virtual platform as a delegate, you will have the option to toggle between Australian daylight saving times, which is the event date or time zone, and your own time zone. So just to avoid any confusions, I would ask business events and all the other exhibitors to write down AEDT, and then that way it's really easy for delegates to just see exactly and avoid any confusion. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, Josephine. I've got a lot of questions coming in, so just go through one by one. Please be patient, everyone. Now, I've got a question from PT Academy. Do we need to send virtual meeting URLs to attendees, or they will receive the link automatically after making an appointment? Now, there are two separate things we're talking about here. So first of all, the virtual booth meeting URL, you don't have to send it to anyone. The moment they click on that, they get directed to your Zoom session. I've explained that earlier, and everyone is being directed to the same session based on the exhibitor that they're visiting. So every exhibitor will have their own virtual Zoom rooms, and this link leads them to that respective exhibitor's Zoom rooms. Now, with regards to making an appointment, so the appointment is a separate feature. Like I mentioned, that is not meant for a one-to-one appointment. And whenever they make a one-to-one appointment with any of the booth staff or anyone else, it generates a Zoom URL specific for that appointment. So it is not being preset. It generates as request as being made, and only two of you can be joining that Zoom session. Okay. Can we add additional admins to the exhibitor booth without being registered to attend the event? I think that might be a question for Kim or Josephine. So let me just explain a little bit. Now, the admins are not going to be appearing on the front end as a staff. Those are booth staffs, and they 100% have to be registered for the event. Admins, what they are given access to, it's really the back end to be handling all of the configurations. So like what Alex was saying earlier, if they want to have their design team coming in to do all of those design setups for their booth, they could do that. That person doesn't have to register for the event. But if they want that person to be showing as a booth staff or to be contactable, to be able to make appointments, then that person 100% has to be registered for the event. Is there anything that you want to add, Kim?
No, I was just going to say that, yeah, if they are going to be partaking in the meetings or hosting anything on that booth, they need to be registered for the conference.
Yep.
Hi, it's Massimo here. I asked that question. Just to follow up, I suppose. So I'm looking to, I noticed there's an add admin function in the platform, but just wondering if we are actually able to, if that's kind of a live function and we're able to add admins, even if, so I'm not looking for them to be present on the booth or engaging in that way, just looking for more people on the back end. Is that how I access that, just through that button there?
Yep, that is why you'll be able to add admin, and just with their first name, last name, and email, that will send them a request or an invitation for them to set up. So that will give them the access to the backend portal, but they can't do anything on the front end. Yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Sure. Okay,
Ryan, we've just got a question about accessing the virtual booth. Do they need to be listed as a staff member in order to host a meeting on that booth? Like, do they need to be listed on the exhibitor booth as an exhibitor, as a booth staff?
Sorry, I didn't really get the question. Do they need to be listed as the exhibitor?
Yeah, so you know how we've got people listed as exhibitor staff on the booth? Are they the only ones that can be the host of a virtual meeting? Or could it be another registered person from their company?
So it could be another registered attendee from their company running that session, and they could be helping out instead. Yeah. Okay. I've got a question from Rachel saying that, is there a way to be emailed notified when someone books a meeting with you? So the answer to that is that yes, Rachel, when someone books a virtual appointment with you or exhibitor appointment with you, you will be receiving an email saying that Ryan would like to make an appointment with you at this date and time. Please respond by yes, no, or propose other times. So that will allow them to, that will allow you to confirm that appointment with them, and you will be given a Zoom URL to join that meeting. Okay. So Christine Lee has mentioned, how will staff member be notified that someone has started a Zoom meeting? So no one would be notified, unfortunately. It will be dependent on your internal communication, saying that, if you've scheduled a staff to be starting the Zoom at 9 a.m., then that person would be responsible for starting the Zoom session itself. Okay. So if I'm not registered for the conference but managing the virtual, does that mean that I can't view the front end? The answer to that is yes, Mirjam. You will not be able to access Attendee Hub at all if you are not registered for the event. So to even log into Attendee Hub itself, you will need your registration details, your first name, last name, and email address that you're registered with to be able to even access the platform itself. And not being listed as a booth staff also means that attendees cannot make any appointments with you if they want to be making any one-on-one appointments. How many staff members can we add? That is a really great question. To be completely honest, there is no limits to how many you can add, but that also determines on how many people are registering for the event. At the same time, having too many booth staffs also means that there is too many options for your attendees to be choosing on who to book appointments with. So it might not be your best interest. I would say keeping your group down to maybe maximum 10 would be a good tip, just so that there isn't too many people across this. Yeah. And Letitia has mentioned again. So yes, you are able, sorry, can I just answer Letitia's question first? She's asking, when are we able to see the booth preview? So Kim, we were saying that we are going to be allowing exhibitors to jump in to see their booths on which date again? Could you jump on that?
Let me just check the key dates that are coming up later.
17th, I think, 17th of September.
There you go. Yep. So Friday the 17th, we'll send you a link that you'll be able to then, with your registered email, go in and view the front end.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, all right, so IDP Connect webinars, as mentioned, can we add and remove booth staff daily? The answer to that is that yes, you can, if you're willing to take the trouble to do all this backend work to be adding and removing stuff. There is nothing stopping you from doing that. Okay. Sally has asked, how many staff can access the virtual host key at the same time? And please confirm there's only 2 staff per 1-to-1 meeting. Okay, so first of all, anyone can be using the virtual host key from your team, if if they are seeing that host key. So if you've got 5 people using the same host key, that is okay. That will just make 1 primary host and 4 other as a co-host for your session. Right. So and if you don't want too many of those co-hosts and hosts, you could just give them the virtual meeting URL instead, and they can join as an attendee, or they can join it from the front end. Both way works. Now, please confirm that it is only 2 staff per 1-to-1 meeting. So if you're talking about 1-to-1 appointments that attendee is making with your staff, it is just 1 attendee to 1 staff. It is not 1 attendee to 2 staff. Yeah. Okay. I would like to remind everyone again, please do send your questions to the all chat instead of private messaging, just so that everyone can see that question. And if they've seen a question popping up, they can avoid asking the same question or a similar question. What's the difference between the file uploaded to Exhibitor profile, content, and the virtual satchel insert? Now, Kim, would you like to jump in to talk a bit about the virtual satchel insert?
Lawrence, I'll hand that one over to you if you like.
Sure.
Yep. The virtual satchel insert, we'll send an email that contains all the virtual inserts in one email that people can view. And the other one is basically on the platform itself as a virtual insert where people can click and view the inserts. Yep.
So yeah, that's a really good explanation. If it's a virtual session insert, it's just from the email itself. But if you put it onto your Exhibitor portal or on your attendee hub, then attendees can see it and view it at any point of time. Okay. So next question from IDP Lee. For the virtual booth Zoom meeting, are the primary hosts be able to set up divided groups when logging on to Zoom? So if you're talking about breakout rooms, yes, the virtual host would have the rights to create those breakout rooms. You can create 5, 10, or as many as you want to, and set up all of those rules and regulations. So that's why, again, I encourage everyone, once we have the virtual booth URLs ready for you, do experiment with your team. Go in, play around, check the settings, and discuss how you want to setting up your virtual booth on the day of the event, and go through those configurations. Okay, when will we send our virtual meeting URL and virtual host key? So virtual meeting URL and the host key will generally be set up 1 week before the event, and I guess I could let Kim know that it has been set up, and Lawrence could follow up with an email to all of you guys saying that the virtual host key and URL are available for use, and you may now go and test it and do your own experiments. Yeah. Okay. Great, that was a lot of questions, and it's a really good party that we're having. Any more questions from anyone? Do we have to prepare the virtual background for our booth staff? So I think that's a question for Josephine or Kim. Are you providing any standard virtual backgrounds, or are they going to be using anything that they are coming out of their own?
I'm happy to take that one, Kim. I think we can provide like an AIEC background, but I actually think this is probably a good opportunity for each organization and exhibitor to display their own branding in their own background. So I would encourage you to use your own.
Yeah. And I think that also might be a really good idea if you have anything, you could be just screen sharing a slide. If you've got a couple of slides or info to be running, and while waiting for attendees to come in, or as attendees are coming in, you could be just sharing some PowerPoint slides on the group to give more information about your product or service. What is the size of the background for virtual booth design? So that's okay. Let me check on that if I could give you any answers. I'll come back to that question later if you don't mind. I can do a bit of research on my end. Now, do you have any other questions related to Exhibitor portal, or just Exhibitor setup in general?
All right, we might move on, and if you've got other questions, we are going to do some more questions at the end. Ryan, I'm not sure if you're able to hang around from.
Yeah, sure, I'll be happy to. Now, Ines Fernandez, I'll just be doing a quick search for you on Google, and I'll come back to you with an answer. But I'll be happy for you guys to move on. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so Cvent questions. Oh, okay. So, Josephine, we will hand over to you.
Thank you, Kim.
Let me know when you want me to forward the slides.
Yeah, sure. So I think most of the people on this call are already aware of Braindate, and you may have even participated in our event Braindate last year. And so it was a very successful event, and we've decided to integrate it this year into AIEC 2021. So I wanted to just touch on this because I think this is an opportunity for all the exhibitors to kind of extend also your engagement options with all of the delegates during the conference week. And we've been talking a lot about what the Cvent platform can do and the one-on-one appointments between delegates or between a delegate and an exhibitor. And those appointments are great if you want to do a 15-minute or a 20, or sorry, I think it's 15 minutes between delegates and 30 minutes between a delegate and an exhibitor. And those are very great opportunities for you to engage directly with one particular person. But a Braindate is more around a topic and more around sharing knowledge, discussing knowledge, telling a story, brainstorming ideas. And so it really is an opportunity to make those meaningful connections, but in a small group environment. So the best way that I can explain this to everyone, if you haven't experienced Braindate, is imagine you walk into the exhibition hall, and you've got all these different booths everywhere, and everyone's got their booth, and they've got their collateral, and they've got their, their branding. But imagine being able to walk in there and seeing every single person in the hall, and knowing what are the topics that they're interested in discussing, what time they're available to do it, and just being able to go up and find a group of 4 people who want to talk specifically about that one thing, having a cup of coffee at the coffee station. So that would be a Braindate. So of course, in a virtual environment, we've got a platform provided by E180, which is integrated into, well, it's not on the Cvent platform, but it will be accessible from the Virtual Attendee Hub. And that is where you can have these Braindates. And Kim, if you might just want to go to the next slide, I'll just show everyone what the Braindate marketplace looks like. So you'll be able to go into the Cvent platform. You will then have on the home page, you'll see, go here to do Braindate, and then you'll go to this place. And your profile will be integrated. They will ask you for a little bit more information for your Braindate profile. And then you can immediately see here that you just put a topic up. And you can see that they're very much topic-based, more than product-based. So think about your booth and your virtual meetings about your products and your services that you provide, whereas Braindate is more around help me solve a problem, or let's brainstorm something, or let me tell you a story about something, or you know what, ask me anything about XYZ, or it could just be an open discussion or a friendly debate. So you can see here, there's some examples of possible topics, and we'll be putting some more on the website shortly as well. So Kim, do you want to just go to the next slide? So one of the many questions I'm getting from other exhibitors and delegates as well is, what's the difference between a Braindate and an appointment that you can make through Cvent? So I guess the main thing for me is that Braindates are topic-based conversations, and you really can't control who's going to join your group Braindate. You can do a one-on-one Braindate topic, and then in that case you do have control around either inviting someone or accepting the invitation. But when it's a group Braindate, you basically just put the topic up and people rock up, right? And it's not really meant to be a sales pitch, so it's not meant to be about what your product is. However, the exhibitor appointments, they're more specific, and I guess they're more transactional, and that's where delegates will expect to hear about your program, services, and products. So there are two types of Braindates, the one-on-one Braindates and the group Braindates. I've just put the example of a group Braindate here on the slide here, but if you go to the website, it will explain what the difference is between the two. So there will be more information about Braindate on the website. We've also got some videos, and there'll be another tutorial, I think, once the actual Braindate platform is launched. There'll be a tutorial around how to create topics, and we'll have someone from Braindate there to answer your questions. So hopefully this is a great opportunity for all of you to just sometimes step outside of that virtual booth and explore, I guess, the rest of the virtual environment. I think that's it, Kim. Oh, still me. Okay. I don't know if there are any questions about Braindates. So I haven't been checking. Okay, so Braindates, when do Braindates open? Sorry, I'm coming back. How many people can join this? Everyone who's registered for the conference can join Braindates. They can create topics, and they can join other topics created by anyone. The Braindate platform will be launched to everyone on the 20th of September, along with the virtual hub. We might be able to give you access on that Friday as the same time as your platform, but we're not entirely sure at the moment if that's going to be possible. The Braindates will be able to be booked at any time for the conference week. So you can create the topics from the 20th of September, but the actual Braindate conversation happens during the conference week. And I think, oh yeah, and Kim's just said that the Braindates are up to 5 people. So one host, that would be you if you're hosting, and 4 more people that will just join your Braindate. And we'll provide also tips on how to host, like what you can do before to engage with people, and also tips on what to do during the actual conversation. So I can't see any more questions. I don't know if there's any others coming to you, Kim.
No, there's nothing else coming to everyone.
Okay, feel free to go off mute as well and just ask me if there's something that comes to mind. So the other really important thing to make this event a really successful one is to tell your networks and your peers and your colleagues to join your AIEC. So we've, obviously the hashtag is AIEC 2021, and we just encourage you to use that in all of your socials and all of your comms and everything, to let people that know that you're there, and to come and join you there. So on the website, there's a link there. You can go to the AIEC .idp.com promo toolkits, and I've just taken a screenshot of the tiles that we've prepared for exhibitors, but there's a bunch of other ones. So if you're also a speaker, or you're a sponsor, or simply you want to pass it along to other of your staff who are just attending and not exhibiting, there's also see you at and meet me at, and I think we'll be creating some now for Join My Braindate. So there's a bunch of things on that page that you can just right-click, download, and then just use them in socials, use them in your signatures. So really, it's really important, I think, for others still thinking about maybe joining, who's going to be there. So I think to make this as successful and have as many people on a platform, we would really encourage you to help us spread the word. We've seen a lot of traffic lately, huge registration bump in the last week or so since we've announced our keynotes, and we have a couple more coming. So that's really exciting to see that people are now really starting to register, but it is not as obvious as in previous years because you know, it's tough, and virtually as well is not as exciting, but we've got great content, and we just want you to help us tell others about it. So that's the toolkit, and I think that's it for me, Kim, isn't it? Or do I have any other slides? Yes, so one more slide. I think this is if you are speaking or if you are particularly interested in a session that you want to attend. We've got all these really cool tiles that we're promoting on Twitter and on LinkedIn. So please jump in there on the conversation. And again, if you're not comfortable creating your own posts on socials, it's just really easy to share, reshare, post, comment, like, encourage, and just get the word out about this really great content. So especially if it's something that resonates with your company and your goals, your own organizational goals. All right, I'm not going to say this was the last one because I'm thinking there might be one more, but okay, here we go. Okay, so this is
the last one.
This is the last one. Okay, so this is just a reminder. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Instagram. We are not on Facebook, but feel free to to promote to Facebook. So I think we've got a tile that's a square tile that works well for Facebook. But yeah, please do join us. We're mostly active on Twitter and LinkedIn, so do at least hit that LinkedIn showcase page, and on Instagram. I think on Instagram during the event we'll probably see a little bit more movement there. So that's it for me. I have again, I just want to thank everyone for your support once again. I do really hope that we can have a great event this October. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Josephine. Just a couple of key dates for you. So as we've mentioned, on 17th of September, we will send you a link that will give you access to the front end of the portal. And then on the Mondays when we launch to all the delegates to access the attendee hub, Braindates, and also just to, because we are launching on that 20th, it's a good date for making sure you've got all your staff registered, those that are attending the conference or might be manning the booths, and then just all your other entitlements, depending if you're a sponsor or a different a sponsor or an exhibitor. There's some other entitlements. Just check your confirmation email or send Lawrence an email and he'll be able to get back to you and confirm anything. So just any other questions? I've got a couple. Josephine, just wondering, there's one here asking about a high res. So that's in the promo toolkit. Cool, you just answered that, sorry. So that's on the website. If you, yep.
Sorry, it's not there yet. I will update it because it's a very good call. So I will update that. And I was just saying, if you need any others, just send an email through to either aiec@idp.com or straight to Think Business Events. And what we'll do is we'll either email it to you or we'll update it to the promo toolkit. We're trying not to put too much on that page because just from branding and trademark side, we don't want, to give too much out there, but I'll definitely upload the logo and a few banners too. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. So just a reminder, we'll send out a link to this recording probably tomorrow when we get a copy of it from Ryan, and confirming that it is going to be daylight saving time at the time of the conference. So that's definitely what we're operating in. But there is an option as a delegate to change to your local time. Once you're on the platform, you can toggle between the Australian daylight savings time and where you are located if you're not in like Melbourne or Sydney. So any other questions? Otherwise, we might let everyone go. And
Kim, your PowerPoint just stopped, and I think we didn't see that. Just the slide with the key dates, if possible.
Yeah, I popped that up, and I can put that up again.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, I missed it. Sorry about that.
There you go. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
So if there are no other questions, thanks again for your time, and we will see you at the conference. Remember, we're only a phone call or email away if you need some help with building your booths. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And